Hi, my name is Benjamin Metzger. I'm an employee of Long Beach Reach. I'm their media specialist and also a teacher here at the Harriet Eisman Community School. Yesterday, my students from the newsletter class interviewed Dr. Joseph Smith about Harriet Eisman. Here's what he had to say. All right, we're rolling. Go ahead, go.
I'm nervous.
You're never nervous.
I even noticed.
I get nervous. Don't film me. Like, I can't know that
All
you're
right,
filming me.
I'm not filming.
I swear to God. Okay, good. Thank you for coming here and talking to us out of your busy schedule about Harriet, who the school is named after. Did you know her personally?
I did. Harriet was actually, I first met Harriet Eisman in this room.
Really?
Oh, wow.
It was in 1974, and I was being interviewed. Harriet was on the board of directors at the time, and I was being interviewed for a position here at the school, assistant director position, and so it was my second interview. I had been interviewed by one person, and then I met with several members of the board, Harriet being one of them. And so that was probably in May of 1974.
That's great.
That's when I first met her.
Was she a Long Beach resident, or?
Well, yeah, Harriet had lived here in the community since, I guess, the late 1950s. She moved from New York City with her family. She was married. She had ultimately 4 children, and lived here in Long Beach until her death in 1981.
And was she like ever principal of our school, or?
No, she was never a member of the staff
Okay.
of the school. Harriet was, very active community leader. She had been involved in a lot of community activities, involved in social action in many ways, political action. She was very interested from the time she moved to this community. She became actively involved with the education system in the community. Having young children, she was concerned and wanted to do everything she could for schools to be good, healthy places for kids. So she was committed to that, and she worked along with other parents in the community who had similar views about education and hopes that the educational system could be good, and they formed what was known at that time as the Education Association. It never existed before, but they created it. Harriet and some other folks in the community created this. And they found early on one of the big problems in the school district was that there was a lot of political interference in the schools, and really felt that that was wrong, that it wasn't good, it didn't lead to good, sound education for kids in the community. And so they gradually worked toward changing that, and actually were successful in having different school board members elected and being able to reverse that to try to make it less political. So her involvement in the community grew. She became very involved in other actions in the community, supporting social service programs, human service programs, youth programs, counseling programs of one sort or another, and became involved very early on in 1970 with a group of individuals to help create an organization which is called Long Beach Reach, which is the sponsoring agency for the Harriet Eisman Community School. And so Reach started in 1970. Harriet was one of the original board members at that time. And she continued to be involved. She had been involved in the 60s in all of the civil rights movement and in the anti-Vietnam War movement. Became very close to and worked very closely with Congressman Allard Lowenstein when he ran for Congress in 1968, and she then ran his congressional office in this district from 1968 until 1970. And then, as I said, she helped to found Long Beach Reach, and then several years later, along with others who were involved here in the community, who had become concerned about the educational system again, and recognizing that there was a tremendous need for an alternative to the traditional educational system for kids for whom the traditional system just didn't work so well. And so out of that interest and out of those activities, of that small group of people who cared about kids and cared about what was happening or not happening in their educational lives, created this alternative school. And then she served as a member of the board and the chairman of the board of the community school in those very early years. So when I met her in 1974, the school had already started in 1973. So it was about a year after the school started that I came to Bergen, and that's when I met Marion.
Did like while she was in high school, was she like a problem child or like had any learning disabilities? Or
Well,
you wouldn't?
I don't think so. That's not, you know, I mean, she was always kind of rebellious. She was always, you know, someone who, you know, would be a little outrageous, and she had high expectations of others and of herself. And I think that was something that was always part of her character, part of her makeup. But she did, you know, she did okay in school, and you know, she went to school, went to college, and got a degree, and you know, and then as I said, became active, became a parent herself, and became active in social community issues and concerns. But she always had, you know, a real care for people and a real care for making sure that people had opportunities. That was really something that she valued, perhaps above all else. That everybody got a fair shake, that everybody had opportunity, and so she dedicated her life to that. And as I said, became very active and involved in lots and lots of good causes.